Hi guys, in this short video I'm going to be talking you through 3 really simple exercises that you can start to incorporate into your day-to-day routine that's going to help you if you suffer with lower back pain. Now there are quite a few different causes behind lower back pains, but today we're going to focus specifically on a group of muscles around the back of the hips. And quite often what happens is when those muscles get tight or they go into spasm, they're going to throw the position of the pelvis out slightly, which leads to the lower back being out of position and therefore lots of muscular discomfort and tightness around the lower back as well. So the first step in today's process is to use either a foam roller. Now if you don't have a foam roller, these are worthwhile investments. You probably get them relatively cheap online. But again, if you don't have a foam roller to hand, you could also use something like a baseball or a lacrosse ball to try and get into the muscles to free it off. So the first thing that we're going to do, pop the roller down onto the floor, and we're going to try and get into the buttocks, so around the back of the hips. Now in order to do this, when the foam roller's on the floor, we need to get you sat onto the foam roller first of all, okay? So sit yourself onto the roller, take your hands behind your back, and then we're going to try and create a figure 4 position. So by taking your ankle across your knee, what you're doing is you're opening up the left hip in this case, and that allows me to get the roller and really start to roll the muscle and try and find any sort of tenderness, any tightness. I'm going to spend a little bit of time rolling first of all, and then when I can find an area that's particularly tight or tender, all I'm going to do is hold that position, keep the pressure on it, and just start to relax my breathing a little bit in order to let the muscle relax and that tightness release. So we hold it for around maybe 20 to 30 seconds, and then afterwards we give it another roll again, really trying to find out where the tightness is. Every now and again just stopping to pause on those little tender spots, taking 20 to 30 seconds just to relax into it, and then rolling again. And obviously you would roll both sides, so you would reset onto the other side, create the figure 4 position, get onto the right buttock, and again, same idea, roll the muscle first of all, find the tight spots, keep the pressure on it, let it relax, and then roll again. Now like I said at the start, if you don't have a foam roller, you can use a baseball or a cross ball. Tennis balls sometimes work, but they might be a bit too soft. So again, I would consider getting hold of a baseball first of all. You could use it up against the wall. And again, so we're repositioning this into the back of the buttocks. You put as much pressure as you want up against the wall, pushing into it, using that baseball to roll the glutes, roll the buttocks, find those tender spots, keep the pressure on it, allow it to relax. And again, this is our first step in the process, okay? Now the idea is that you're trying to release or try and get the tension out of the muscle tissue first of all. So when that tissue gets quite knotted, it's going to stop it from stretching and releasing properly. So this is the first phase. A bit like if you went to see a massage therapist, they would work the tissue hands-on. This is like a hands-off approach. The second step is to work on a stretch into the glutes, okay? So to do this, what we're going to do is get you laid onto the floor, and then if we start off by taking the right leg flat onto the floor, drawing the left knee up towards 90 degrees, I'm going to reach across with my right hand, I'm going to grab the outside of the knee, and then from here I'm going to bring the knee into the body, but also start to bring it across towards my shoulder here. So into the body first of all, bring it across towards the shoulder, and I'm looking to try and create that stretch into the glutes, okay? So into the back of the hip. When I've got the stretch, the important thing here is trying to relax into it. So taking some nice deep breaths, spending a good 30, 40 seconds, relaxing into that stretch before we switch on to the other side. So the theory is the same, one leg flat, knee up to 90 degrees, bring it in, bring it across, find that stretch into the buttocks, take your time to relax your breathing. Okay, so with stretching, it's not really something that you can do too much of, okay? So if you've got a lot of tightness around the back of the hips, just spend a little bit more time, hold it for a little bit longer, do a couple of repeats on each side until it really starts to feel like it frees up. The third step, so the first step is to foam roll, the second step is to start to stretch the muscle tissue. The third step is to try and get that area moving now with some mobility work. So the drill that we're going to do is called Lumbar Rolls. So when you're laying on the floor, you're going to have your knees and feet stuck together. You have your arms out to the side for a little bit of support. And then from here, what I'm going to do is just gently take the knees about halfway towards the floor, keeping my knees and feet stuck together all the way through. Draw back up and then take my knees over the other side. And again, back up to the top and just gently going from side to side, trying to stop at around halfway. So you've always got control through the movement. And just slowly starting to free that lower back and hip area up with some lumbar rolls going from side to side. Now, one of the big mistakes that we quite often see on this one is people try and drive their knees all the way down to the floor, their shoulders and their back lifts up off the floor, and you lose the emphasis of movement. So this is just real gentle mobility from side to side, keeping those abs braced to give you a little bit of support. I probably want to do around maybe 10 to 15 repetitions on each side to really start to get that lower back area freed up. And that is phase number 3 in this little 3-step routine.